Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this, and I'm not dead, I just have been busy for a change. I've been playing a lot of games, and I've been actually busy with other things, again for a change. So in this video, I'm going to be reviewing for you guys Tomb Raider a day before it comes out. If you live in Australia, it actually broke street date on the weekend, so you can go and pick it up now. But I was originally going to put gameplay behind this because my camera is dead, and by that I mean I forgot to charge the bloody thing, and there's no PowerPoint in this room, and I couldn't be bothered. But according to the embargo date, which was till the 25th of February, so that was when you could put a review live. I put my review on my site, link in the description if you want to go and read it and check what I gave it out of 10. It says that B-roll and screenshots, no more than 10 screenshots, B-roll subject to Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics approval prior to being made to the public. The following guidelines should be followed, blah, 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 blah. So I'm pretty confident that I'm not actually allowed to use gameplay until the 5th, until it actually comes out, and I'm not waiting an extra day for this because I could not be bothered. I want to get it over and done with. So, all of that aside, let's get into the review. And I will put trailers up. There's nothing wrong with that. So let's get into the review of Tomb Raider of 2013 for the Xbox 360 and PC and PlayStation 3. So, Tomb Raider, when it was first announced, I'm like, mother of God, I need this game right now because it looks amazing. It's pretty much Uncharted with a female character, which, when you play the game, my voice went up a tremendous pitch then, but when you play the game, you're like, oh, wow, that's awesome, but I did that in Uncharted. But then you have to remember that Uncharted is pretty much the bastard love child of Tomb Raider and Indiana Jones, so you can't knock it for being derivative of Uncharted, because even though it is, Uncharted is derivative of Tomb Raider. It's a whole derivative circle that keeps deriving of derivative things that the other derivative series done because it derived from the other thing. It makes no sense at all, but that's essentially what I'm trying to say. So the story starts off, you're a young Lara Croft aboard the ship Endurance. You should have known that a ship called Endurance would crash, because it did, and you'll quickly find yourself shipwrecked and a little tropical island in the Dragon's Triangle, and from there you will be fighting mercenaries. You will be all these plot twists and turns that I'm not allowed to talk about because I want you guys to go and experience, because the story is actually pretty goddamn good. And for what it's trying to do, essentially is to say that, you know, this is a young Lara Croft. We're rebooting the series. Here's how she starts off, and they do an unbelievably good job of taking a young Lara Croft who obviously hasn't done that much in the world, and at the end of the game she's this experienced adventurer woman, and they do an unbelievable job of creating that through the experience. So that's one of the great things that this game does, is that it shows you the change and the progression of the character of Lara Croft, and hopefully sets up for a series of games, because this game is unbelievably good. But the one weak thing in the story, and they do this a lot, is that there's a moment where it's Lara's first time to do something, and I'm not talking about intercourse, I'm talking about killing someone. So there's this big scene where after she kills this person in self-defense, she's crying and she's vomiting, and I get that, you know, it's the first kill that she's ever done, and it's same when she has to kill other things, but then the game turns into a kill fest where you have to kill everything, and I get that. It's a video game. I mean, realistically, she's not going to be able to get down on her knees and cry every time that she kills somebody. I get that, but it kind of makes that believable sequence a little bit less believable. But I get it. It has to be done because it's a video game. You can't... I mean, it's a good thing to have, don't get me wrong, but it's a good thing to have nonetheless. But, you know, it kind of takes away from the believability of those particular scenes. When after that happens, then you go and do that same thing 1,000 times. But Tomb Raider plays really awesome. I do not like third-person shooters at all. But I think this one did a pretty good job of streamlining everything. Like, there's no cover system. It automatically does it for you. It automatically goes into crouch. Stuff like that. Like, those kind of systems I really hate. I hate it in Assassin's Creed. But in this game, it just feels really well done. You're never really shouting at the game like, why aren't you going in crouch, you stupid bastard? But yeah, it does that automatically for you as well. It spoon-feeds you mechanics. So when you first start off, obviously, you don't have everything. Like, there's like 4 guns, I believe. There's a shotgun, assault rifle, pistol, and the bow and arrow. You only get the bow and arrow. And then a couple of hours later, you get the pistol. And then a couple of hours later, you get the submachine gun. And then a couple of hours later, you get the shotgun, and you unlock all these different abilities for them. which is the built-in RPG system, and I'll tell you what that's about. So essentially everything you do, from collecting salvage to collecting collectibles, killing people, completing the story missions, or the storyline, I should say. They're not done in missions. You get XP, and when that XP hits a threshold, you get an unlock point, and you can spend that on anything. There's 3 tiers. I can't remember what they are, but there's survival, there's combat one, and there's another one that I can't remember. And in those, the professionalism of this review just went up. And in those, you can say, I want my shotgun to unlock a insta-kill feature. I want my bow and arrow to do more damage. I want Lara to be able to take more damage and stuff like that. And it's really well done, and it adds to it adds to that feeling that Lara Croft is growing as a character. And at the end, she will be a absolute rape machine. That's probably the wrong word to use when describing a female character, but I don't care. That's essentially what she turns into. So at the end of the game, for instance, your crappy bow and arrow that did no damage will be able to shoot dynamite at people. That's how you level your character up. It's unbelievably... It just adds to that experience of, you know, this is a young Lara Croft, and now she's being matured into this awesome explorer woman. Now, Tomb Raider is lathered in set pieces. Now, if you don't know what set pieces are essentially this really action sequence thing in a video game, for instance. Like in Call of Duty, riding in a car is a set piece, because that's different from the overall game experience. I think that's what a set piece is. I don't know, sue me. But essentially, like in the first 15 minutes of Tomb Raider, Lara is kidnapped. She's then hung upside down, and then you have to use fire to get out, impaled on a metal rebar, and then slides down a waterfall in order to escape her captors. That pace keeps up the entire game. I mean, some of my favorite ones, which I mentioned in my review, was when you're running through a burning village on the rooftops, or swimming through a river of blood to come out like covered in blood, like she's stained. And you know, it's also lathered with quick time events, which I'm not a fan of, but in these action scenes, they make sense to be there, so I'm not going to knock it for that, because I don't really mind. I've mentioned the upgrade system. Oh no, I haven't. You can collect salvage as well, and that salvage you use to upgrade your equipment. So again, you don't get everything at once. So, for instance, if you have a pistol, you can upgrade that 100%. But at the start of the game, you can only unlock it 20%, and then 50%, 60%. So it spoon feeds you the upgrades as well. So, for instance, early in the game, you can have more damage and an extra magazine. Or later on in the game, you can have a silencer, more damage, 3-round burst, all these other kind of awesome upgrades, which make exploring the world a must. And this review has probably gone on way too goddamn long. It has, but I don't care. We're going to get through it. So yeah, the voice acting is unbelievable. It's really good. The Camilla Luddington, I think, who did Lara Croft, did an amazing job. Tomb Raider looks unbelievable. It looks great. And yeah, you should essentially buy this game if you haven't already, or go and pre-order it if you live in America, because it is unbelievable. It is amazing. Tomb Raider for the win. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to go see what I gave it out of 10, click the link in the description. I'm out. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Au revoir.